This is a video for demonstration purposes of the first challenge for ECE 461 for the group of Brody, Eastwood, and say your name.
Stuart Jones.
Thank you. This is the board I'm gonna use. I'm gonna take and load the code on it. I have a watch point set that should trigger whenever the sector that is being written changes, and I'm going to use that to show that the memory changed. And this is the Sector 1 and Sector 2. That up there is Sector 1, that down there is Sector 2. And as you can see, they are presently set to just the default. It's just there, what it was when I flashed the program onto it. Now I'm gonna run through, gonna get the first sector dealt with, and it has now dealt with writing that one. And now that it's written, it's a long series of A5, 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 because that was something I could write to it that
Was distinguished.
Yeah, it was something that wasn't just a series of ones, essentially. As you can see, it does it one sector at a time, and now it's going to go again, and it does the rest. I have this timed based on every 1/32 of a minute by this timer here. It only lets it do its thing when a 1/32 of a minute is passed, and since there's 32 sectors, since it does it once every 32nd of a minute, after 32 times it's been a minute. This timer here controls the LEDs and sets the watchdog timer to not go off, assuming the button isn't pressed. And this is the main that controls everything. It just sets everything up, and then it, including the clocks, interrupts, timers, watchdog, yeah. And then it, when it's given the go-ahead to do everything, it does everything, and once it's finished, it turns on the green LED and tells it to stay on for a bit and starts over. And this is the function that actually does the erasing and programming. It's pretty much just directly from the third lab, but with the ability to change which sector it is as a argument, and that it advances the sector in the return. It unprotects it, it erases it, it programs it, then it reprotects it, and it returns. That function is to initialize the watchdog timer. It initializes the watchdog timer to go off after a second. And this sets up the clocks. Okay, I'm now going to terminate the debug session, and I'm going to start another one just to reload the code to it before immediately terminating it again. And now you're going to
Unplug it to make sure that you know that it's lit just the power supply from the computer running the board. So we'll plug that back in. So what's basically happening on the board is that the red LED will indicate the watchdog timer has been reset. The green LED over here will indicate that the memory has completely erased and been restored to flash for all 32 sectors. Upon this button press and release, the watchdog timer will be reset, and the LED will stay on for another second while after the button has been pressed, just to indicate that it's resetting itself. What we're waiting on right now is for this green LED to light up, indicating the memory has finished its erase and program settings. While we're waiting, a couple of things about the optimization that the CCS told us we could do during this program. We were told we couldn't. That it told us that a recommended thing was not used. Delay software loops were used, but in fact, we actually used them to make sure to slow down the process of the erase and program to make sure. Oh, see, there it is, indicating that the light was completely done, or the erase program was completely done.
It wasn't to slow anything down. That it was to make sure that it actually finished. It made sure it didn't fail.
Well, yeah, I was getting to that, but
yeah,
the light kind of came up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we basically wanted to make sure that it wouldn't override anything by going too or faster than its programming capabilities or faster than its erasing capabilities. So that's why that was there. There's a couple design errors actually in this board. If you see on the bottom here, you see exposed solder joints. And there's actually an issue with this that we found out while doing this.
Do it. Hold down switch 1 by holding it back there.
So you can either press these two buttons and short this switch, or press this button and short switch 1. And we found this out during our debug process, and currently and it drove us nuts trying to figure out why it was messing up. Hence, you see right there, we have now shorted out switch 1. And
in the process, the watchdog timer didn't get cleared, so it's resetting over and over.
Exactly. So that could be a major error that I recommend whoever watches this video puts electrical tape on the back of that before doing any major debugging process. Alright, well, that's our program. Thank you.